We want you to see a little bit about Legendary Baking and who we are. And we have a 2-minute video to show you that.
It all starts with the planting of a seed. In that perfect place and at just the right time. Then with an ample portion of spring showers, lots of bright sunshine, and just the right amount of care, it grows into a beautiful tree and produces the amazing fruit that goes into every legendary pie.
No matter how carefully a pie is put together, without fresh, high-quality ingredients, it will never meet the legendary baking quality standards. That's why we source the very best ingredients from the very best suppliers around the country. Whether it's the flour used to make our dough, or the fruits, nuts, and cream used in making our fillings, we go to great lengths to find the very best available. Anyone who knows pie will tell you a great pie starts with a great crust. At Legendary Baking, we know the secret of making the flakiest crust and never compromise in our methods. We make sure our shortening and flour are just the right temperature before we mix them, ensuring we get the right consistency and texture. Then we roll out our crusts, just like you do at home, never stamping the crust like some of our competitors. Of course, our pie fillings are made with the greatest of care, with many of our recipes dating back as far as 50 years. When you bite into one of our famous fruit pies, you will see nice whole berries or whole slices of juicy, delicious fruit. Our cold fill method ensures that our fruits keep their texture and flavor while making sure our creams and meringues hold up under the pressure of perfection. Our fabulous fruit pies then make their way to our state-of-the-art tunnel oven to bake. We want to make sure our fruit pies have the freshest taste and texture, so they only go into the oven once, when the pie is baked to its golden brown perfection. Our creative cream pies are sent to our multi-line rotary freezer. This locks in the flavor and freshness that is expected when your customer takes that first bite. The quality that goes into each and every legendary baking pie is no accident. Our deliberate intent can be tasted in every one of our delicious pies. Our quality is also reflected in the Level 3 certification we received from the Safe Quality Food, or SQF initiative. This is the highest certification level available. With confidence, Legendary Baking puts their pies to the test by competing each year in the American Pie Council's National Pie Championships. This annual event brings top bakers from around the country to challenge each other for the title of the best tasting pie. Year after year, Legendary Baking continues to lead the industry, winning over 600 blue ribbons since 2003 to prove it. At the end of the day, it's more work to be both old-fashioned and high-tech. However, being legendary means never compromising. Legendary Baking, the retailer's first choice in pies and desserts.
All right, so you may have recognized that person at the very end of the video there.
I'm the big pie eater around the planet.
Looks sort of familiar, right? So let me tell you a little bit about Mary Pint, the pie lady. Probably everybody in this room has either met her at some point or talked with her or whatever. She's a longtime pie aficionado and has worked in the pie industry for over 40 years, starting her career at what would become one of the very first Baker Square restaurants. She's traveled around the country spreading the message of good food, good fun, and great pie through her pieology. She particularly enjoys working with children and for many years has worked with the Boys and Girls Club, Kids Cafe, and Second Harvest to bring her message of fun to America's youth. Famous for her many pie hats, which she's currently wearing one. Right costumes, which her nieces are wearing, right? You made those, right?
Yep.
And knowledge of pie history, songs, and trivia. Mary's appeared on the Food Network and news programs all over the country as a pie expert. She's a member of the American Pie Council, and where she works tirelessly to keep our heritage of pie alive. She's accompanied today by Andrea Mason, the newest member of the team at Legendary Baking. She has 20 plus years of innovation and passion for food. Many years of shaking it up in the CPG and snack industry have led to a unique and driven passion for pie. With a strong background in recipe development, creative ideation, innovation, formulation, and finding the next big thing, she has a passion for business and advancements thereof. Her accomplishments include, among other things, many successful business ventures, some patents, some really cool print campaigns and cookbooks, and a whole lot of passion for the future. So with that, I'll introduce you to Andrea and Mary.
I've been with the company almost since it started, but we began, and we have been around forever. I think it says right here, 1969. So you can tell how old I am. The company started actually in Des Moines, Iowa. There was a man named Johnny C., and he had a restaurant there, and then he decided to get into the pie business. He was only in the pie business 1 year, and Pillsbury came and bought him out and bought all his recipes, and that's how we began. And we were, at first, popping fresh pies. We were the doughboy people. And we used to battle against the Betty Crocker pie shops. So it used to be 2 pie shops in the Midwest. And then we've moved quite a bit from them. And we do all sorts of desserts now. And this is what we're known for. Yummy, especially cream pies. Anybody know the name of this one? What kind of pie that is? Let's see, I gotta get it over here, I'm sorry.
She said chocolate.
Yes, you are right. It's French silk. There's some chocolate. Good answers. Get a hunk of chocolate around
There you
here.
go.
A hunk, burn love chocolate there. Very, very good. All right. Well, that's
my
what
favorite pie. That's right.
All right. Well, then you should know the name of it. All right. So that's a little bit about us, and we're going to get into this presentation and get going here. I've gone by that already. This is just some quick slides. We'll go through key lime, blueberry. Can't tell.
I think that's a cherry lettuce.
Looks like cherry.
Yep.
Looks like peanut butter to me. I just love that pie. And that's our galette, mixed berry galette. So we are into a lot of different pies, but you know what? We haven't been really into appetizers, and that's what I want to talk about today. So we'll move on. And what would a pie person tell you if you asked them how to make a great pie? Oh, you're my pie people.
It's about the crust.
If I say, what do I need to have a great pie? Crust. Who said it? Right off the bat.
Raise your hand. Oh,
right answer. Right answer. Come on, Riley. Move it out there. Here. Riley. Chocolate. Good job. That's right. And that's what I think we do so well, is our pie people make the best crust in the world, but we put pie only in it. We only put the sweet in. And that's what I want to talk about and push. Let's do a little savory with our crust, because you are the best crust makers. And that's kind of what this is all about. Let's move on and add some savory. And here we go. We're going to be making and talking about the spinach pie. Now this is a rustic spinach pie that I made, and I'm giving you the recipes. They'll be online so that you can make this too. And we have tastes for everybody of something. This is my ham and asparagus daisy pie. I don't know if that's clear or not, if you can see it. But we've got some creme fraiche in the center, and then some chia nuts spread on top. And we'll talk a little bit about how I made this. What do you think I used to make this design in the crust?
Silicone pan.
Excellent! Right answer! Chocolate!
Raise your hand.
Chocolate! There we go. You're right. This is one of my discoveries since I've retired. I found out you can buy these pans. And you know, usually use them to make cake. Well, I started putting dough in them. guess what? It works. So you actually end up serving your pie upside down, but with a beautiful design on it. And they're so much fun, very inexpensive. Amazon's got them, and you can get them in every design like crazy. And they seem to work. I don't know why, but they do. It was something I discovered.
It's awesome.
Are you surprised?
No.
I always like to do everything upside down. I think for years I've been bringing in pies upside down and topping them upside down, so I guess it was a natural for me. But this is very good, and I really like it. It's quiche, and hopefully you can get a little sample of it.
Here we go.
Oh, here's the recipe
that's the
to
spinach
the
pie.
rustic spinach pie. I can't see it from there, but I'll try to see it off my sheet of paper. This is actually very easy to make, but the thing that I would key into is you are putting a lot of spinach, and you really have to squeeze your spinach out through a cheesecloth and get it very dry, or the whole thing will not set up for you. But it's got all sorts of great cheeses in it, and it's very yummy, so I'd sure like you to try that. But very simple to work with. So you take your best crust recipe that you like, and then instead of, you're making a rustic pie, I see a lot of them out in the competition, instead of doing it as a sweet pie, try this, and it's really yummy. We've got in there, we have ricotta cheese and feta cheese, and it's just a great combination. And myself, I love to sprinkle a little honey on top at the end. It's kind of yummy.
Hey, Mary, we have a special ingredient in this pie too, right? And that's what our next question is, to win some chocolate.
Okay.
What is farina?
What is
Anybody?
farina? That's an ingredient I have in here.
Right there.
Farina, farina. What do you have to say?
Cream of wheat.
It is very close to cream of wheat. It isn't cream of wheat, but you're right. It's what I would call cream of wheat. And if I don't have any farina, I use cream of wheat. So you got chocolate. And what do you think I'm doing with it in the recipe? Pardon me?
Thickening. She said
Cooking it,
thickening.
but-
Thickening.
Thickening.
Yeah.
Good. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the word right.
I
Thank
got
you.
your back.
You got it. You know, I am getting kind of old and my hair is coming back. And sometimes I go, what are people telling me? But yes, that's excellent. Now your partner has a chocolate too. Look at
Get another one. There's
Great. And then we'll move on. The next thing we want to do is talk about a new pastry. And I don't know how many of you have done it, but I have never done this before in my life until I retired. And I'm fooling around looking at stuff. And suddenly I see you can make pastry crust with cream cheese. And I didn't realize that. And I thought, gosh, that'd really be good in appetizers if you have a little cream cheese flavor. So we put that together, and that recipe is there. Now this is the easiest crust, because I just can't believe it. You don't even have to add water to this crust. All I do is put 1 egg yolk in it, beat it, and put it in there, and that kind of makes the crust a little more stable. And it's just flour, butter, and cream cheese. So the recipe is right there, and you're gonna say, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. It is so simple and very nice, tasty for a savory pie like what we're doing here. So you're gonna help demonstrate this. One of the things that I found is, why just have a crust? We're making this a little savory, so let's add some stuff.
Does anybody out there know why we don't need water in this?
Why do you think?
water's diluting. He said water dilutes.
Dilutes, so we don't have to add any. And that's really right. And you know why? Because cream cheese has a lot of water in it. So it's actually taking it, which is what makes this darn crust so easy to make, is you don't have to putz around trying to figure out how to get the right amount of water. Very good, chocolate for the gentleman. And now, I think my next question is, if you were we're gonna do this. If you were going to make a crust and you were going to make it for a savory item like these, what do you think you would put in the crust as far as a herb or flavor? Rosemary, good answer. Rosemary's a good one. It isn't one I happen to have, so you haven't won your chocolate yet, but keep going. Come on, guys, give me some more answers. What was that? Thyme? Good answer.
Dill.
Do I have time?
Someone yelled dill too.
Who said dill? All right, I know I got dill in this.
Yeah.
It's perfect with spinach, don't you think? All right, chocolate, come on there. Okay, so let's put a little dill on this.
All right.
Now what you can do, you can put your spices into your flour mixture and put it in. Or if you want to do it like I do, I usually make kind of a big batch. So I'm going to put all different spices. So I do it and roll it into the dough as for whatever I'm going to do. But this is the dill we're going to use here.
We don't
Or
have
it's
dried dill.
fennel. Oh, you don't have dill. Okay.
We have dill, but we don't have
This'll
dried dill.
work.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right.
So we're going to put some dill. What else should we put on this? What do you think? What?
Bacon.
Bacon.
Everything's better with
I
bacon.
love bacon. Hey, we had a pie that one yesterday that had bacon. The salty hog. Oh, it's a manly pie too. There you go. All right.
Oh, yeah, you have pancetta.
Can we, I'm going to add what I like to put on here. I'm going to add a little of lemon pepper. Have you ever used lemon pepper? It's really good on crust for some unusual reason. And then I'm going to roll this now. And you start rolling it in, turn it over, and add some to the other side. And you're going to roll that in too. And it turns out very, very pretty. Be a little careful about not getting too much pepper in your dough. But this is good. How about, what else does everyone think we should put on something? This is just kind of a piece of dough we're going to waste and get some ideas about what we could put in our dough. So it's okay if it doesn't happen to go with what we've got here.
Chili powder.
Chili powder. What would you make for the inside of one with chili powder? Great. Yeah, that's a great one. I haven't thought about that at all. Oh, she's got chocolate over here, up and roaring. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for. What's your
Garlic.
ideas? You are the experts. I've been out there watching your pies come in, and I go, wow, this stuff is gorgeous.
Cheese. Cheese.
Cheese. Cheese works great. Very good. Get her some chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always talk about cream cheese after all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's made
exactly.
with cream cheese. Yeah.
Black pepper could look really pretty too, with just visually.
Right, and that's kind of a big part of this. And you can look at that when you see this. All of these were made with different spices, and you'll see it's very pretty. All right, so that's probably enough spice, but we can roll that out. But I'd like you to show you also nutmeg is a good thing to put on. And we can put that on fresh. I always like to use fresh nutmeg. Cinnamon, right? And again, you're going to take this plain crust now, and it's going to look really pretty, full of good things. So I was just in Budapest. I was so lucky. I got to visit Budapest, and that's where they make all this paprika. So I've been doing a lot of things with paprika since I bought up pounds and pounds of it. You want to roll that in?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to show you those ideas, and really, I know those ideas, you have them already, but I want to encourage everyone to start getting into the appetizers and to try that out, okay? So, and this dough is very easy to mold, and it's very easy to work with. And we can actually, we've got this, if you just get it a little thinner, we can put it in here and kind of show them how that'll work.
Sure.
All right. All right, so we'll take it, fold it over. Believe it or not, this stuff works. I still don't believe it myself. So. You do have to kind of push it in. And the neat part about this dough, if you get a little hole or something, just patch it. It just kind of goes back together. I don't know what's with this stuff, but it's the easiest thing I've ever seen. I was working all these years in this hard pie business, and I thought, wait a minute, why don't we have something like this?
Do you have to spray that pan at all?
The
No.
silicone.
Put it in as is?
No, you don't have to do a thing because you've got, this crust is all butter and cream cheese. So it pretty much takes care of itself. And because you're going to flip it over, you want to cut it here. You can just cut the edges off because you're going to flip it over and you're going to serve it upside down. So you don't have to worry. No crimping. Unbelievable, no crimping. But if you really want to crimp, I'd like you to come tonight when we're doing our crimping contest. We're looking for some people to beat our folks. But it's very simple, works great. And then I just would add quiche to this. It's like a quiche mixture with milk and cream and asparagus. And flip it over, and it can be served either cold or hot, and it's really yummy. All right, and now, Katie, you're on. I asked my niece here if she would show how we assemble these wonderful little bites. And what we've got here is creme fraiche and smoked salmon, a little caviar, because we're up there at the top, and some dill on top. So, right over here, she's coming, and she's going to assemble some of these so we can serve them up for you.
And the creme fraiche is in.
What did you say? You want me to squeeze your creme fraiche for you there, little girl? This is creme fraiche. Have you ever made your own creme fraiche? Is that one of my questions?
That is the question, yeah.
Okay.
What are the ingredients in creme fraiche for some
Okay.
more chocolate?
We'll see who knows that. What are the ingredients in creme fraiche? Go ahead.
Really fresh buttermilk and heavy cream.
Excellent. Oh, get the chocolate out there. Run, Riley, run. You need exercise. Excellent. And you can make this yourself. Creme fraiche is kind of hard to find in the stores. I wanted some backup stuff from the grocery store today, and the store doesn't carry it. But I had made this at home and brought it here. So, and it's very simple. It's a cup of fresh cream and 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. Now, here's the deal. You let it sit out, and you think, oh, I can't do that. But you do. You let it sit out for 24 hours. 24 hours. And then well, first stir it after you put it together. Then let it sit out, and just with a piece of cloth over it, because it's got to breathe, and it's going to be changing, so it's got to breathe. So you just want a cloth on top, let it sit out 24 hours, then tighten down a cap on it, put it in the cooler for 1 day. It's good for about 2 weeks in your refrigerator. And if you haven't had creme fraiche, you're just going to love the taste. It's got a little bit of sourness to the cream, but it's just yummy. All right, now Katie has sprinkled a little dill, because we're into these savory things here, on the creme fraiche, and now she's going to add Irish salmon from the Atlantic Ocean. I also got to travel to Ireland this year, and this is where I saw something very similar when I was there. Here she goes. She's done the assembly line here. She's working them out here. Do you like salmon?
I do.
Smoked salmon, I love.
Like catch it.
Yeah. So you got to get some of that.
What is she sprinkling on?
She's
Dill.
putting a little bit of dill. I just showed her this today. Isn't she doing good? She's just moving along here. All right. And then we're going to get that caviar. And this is a kind of a funny recipe. I saw something similar to caviar. Where'd it go? I saw something similar in Ireland. And then I had all my neighbors come in and taste some of these savory appetizers and see what they thought. And one of the ladies says, just put a little touch of caviar on this. And she was actually right. It's salty and it's really yummy and it makes a huge difference. Very good. And then maybe you can help her put a couple, just one sprig on top. And aren't they cute?
Yeah.
I made this item, the daisy pie, and Katie was so nice. She says, I want to try that, and she just loved it. And I said, you're making me feel good, Katie. Young people, they usually don't like anything.
This is true.
Okay. So now we got a few more appetizers. And we did them in just a little pan, like this tart pan. And they shrink down a little bit, but not much, and they really come out easy. And you know who put these all together for me? Riley. Stand up, Riley. She made all these little crusts for me yesterday and patted them in, and you'll see, you might have a little tear. You can just pat this stuff, and it goes right back together, and it doesn't drip out. Yeah, that's the cream cheese, yeah. I used all that recipe for everything except this one, which is a more traditional shortening crust. All right, let's put those out here because we'll let them have those in a little bit. All right, where are we at here? So
Ham and
this is
asparagus daisy pie.
This is the daisy pie, so that recipe we have for you also. And it's basically like a quiche that you're making, so it's got the half and half and the eggs that we're putting in there. And then a lot of asparagus. I love asparagus, and it's so perfect. And a little bit of red peppers I put in, because then they look really good. And guess who chopped all that stuff for me? Little Riley.
We have a picture too of the
These kids
the
have
pan.
been so good. I got them in, and they've been helping me make everything like crazy. So there's a picture of the form that I actually used for the pie here, and the daisy pan.